People have been training their bodies for a long time. Oftentimes, we forget methods that people used back in the day that produced tremendous results. We're going to talk about some of them today. Some of them may be valuable to you, maybe the lessons in them. Some of them maybe not so much. But today we're going to talk about 9 old school, forgotten training methods that they used to do back in the day to get fit and especially get tough.
Let's
do it.
These are trying to get my attention.
Right.
Now, huh?
Well, yeah, these are creative, dude.
Well, no, what I did,
come up with this list?
I'll tell you what I did, right? I was reading about, and there's more that goes to this, but I was reading about how fighters in the late...
This is like Ross training methods.
In the late 1800s, early 1900s, up till about 1920, how did those guys train? Like, what were the things that they did to get their bodies ready for... Look, of all the sports that we can think of, that we can talk about, if I had to pick like the most tough, like it was fighters of those eras.
Yeah.
Like the rules were
there was no rounds. There was no rounds, right? It was just until the guy submitted.
Yeah.
Right?
Oftentimes, and then they narrowed it down.
Fell over.
Then they narrowed it down like 45 rounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And in order for, now boxing, oftentimes knockouts are because the ref steps in to stop the fight.
Yeah, TKO.
Do you know what it took for the ref to stop the fight back then?
Yeah, no, of course.
Eyeball would have to fall out of your head for them to even come in and...
Crazy carnage.
Oh, it's insane. So I looked up old-time fighters like Jack Dempsey. I don't know if you guys know what Jack Dempsey was. So he was a tough guy. And I looked up his training.
Surprised you didn't look up Rocky Marciano.
Marciano came a little later, but I'm very familiar with Marciano as well. But I'd say the era of Dempsey... Once you get past that, boxing started to become more modernized.
Well, I mean, Dempsey is still boxing. This is his stance. It's like if his picture looks like this, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Dempsey was that.
Pull it up. Pull up Jack Dempsey.
Maybe that's how they pose for pictures. I'm trying to think right now.
Well, that's what I mean. He's like the last generation that would pose for a fight like that.
By the way, and I'm gonna tell you, listen, if you're listening to this and you're like, look, I just want to get in shape, there are things we can learn from them. So obviously, if you're not a boxer, that doesn't mean you're not going to get value. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought this up. By the way, do you know why they held their hands the way they did? Do you know why they did that? Yeah, look at that. That's Jack Dempsey. They held their hands that way because old time boxing, you went for the body more than the head. Because you hit in the head with the leather, they had leather gloves.
Break your hands.
You break your hand, you're out of the fight.
Yeah.
So they would go for the body more than the head to take you out. And a good body shot will definitely do that. So that's why they held their hands so low, was to cover their body. Nobody was jabbing to the forehead back in those days,
It didn't have as much.
Okay, so here's some of the training methods they use. And then what I would like us to do as trainers is talk about the value and maybe how the average person who wants to get fit can apply or not some of this stuff, okay? Yeah. So the first thing, and we've seen this somewhat become popularized. It's not popular, but we've seen now variations of this in MMA.
It's been emulated,
which is chopping wood.
Yeah, chopping wood became sledgehammer on the tires.
Yes. Now, chopping wood, here's why that's such a... And fighters for a long time found this produced really, really explosive power. And for the average person, doing something that emulates this, so you can do this in a gym. Many gyms now have they'll have a tire that you can use a sledgehammer. In fact, it's not even a sledgehammer anymore. In fact, they make tools now that you can use to hit tires. You want to talk about a core workout? This will get your core very strong and very functional.
Well, hips, core, and rotation. I mean, you get and that's what throwing a punch is. I mean, that's throwing a punch right there. And so you get really good at powering from your hips, core, and rotation. And that's
especially that lateral chop. That if you're actually chopping wood and chopping a tree and being able to organize all your muscles at once, and then it's the acceleration training. It's
there you go.
Speed power, which doesn't get expressed that much. But if you can organize your body to produce like maximal power and then speed with it, it's so useful in sports.
Yeah, modern popular training methodologies are really good at developing strength in the upper and lower extremities, but they don't do a good job of connecting the two at the trunk. So if you're not able to connect the upper and the lower body well with a trunk that can withstand rotation, that can be stable when it needs to be and strong when it needs to be, what the result is lots of back issues, a lot of lower back injuries, which is what you see oftentimes with people who are really strong in the gym. Then they go do something, like throw a Frisbee or go play with their kids or twist a little quickly to grab the shampoo bottle. And they're like, how did I hurt my back? I work out all the time. It's because they're not connecting very well because your trunk, your core,
it was funny,
isn't trained well.
Not knowing it, because that was my favorite chore. I would chop wood all day long. I would prefer it over anything, and so that was my big thing I would do growing up. And then that totally translates, especially in football, where they call it's like that snap, that initial spark that you have to have that in order to be able to be fast enough so you can evade somebody coming at you, or you could enforce this type of power onto somebody.
Yeah. By the way, the reason why one of the reasons why this is so effective is when I'm hitting a sledgehammer or chopping something, I can cause the acceleration, but the object that I hit helps me decelerate.
Yeah.
If you just swing an axe without hitting anything, prepare for injury.
Yeah.
Because you have to then slow down and decelerate. But if I have something that's going to stop it, I can learn to generate as much power as I can, and the object that I'm hitting actually does the deceleration. That's why that's different than just twisting as fast as you can.
It's like that Wii boxing where you're not actually punching something, and I've seen
your bicep gets hurt.
Yeah, hurt their shoulder.
That's right. That's right. Next up, and we're gonna apply this to someone who's just working out, but they did a lot of shadow boxing in water, where they'd go underwater and they'd
I was just sprinting in my pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
For fitness, what's great about going in water is it's low impact. Every motion you do in there has resistance because water's thick. So walking, running, you could practice exercises, leg swings in the water. It's a very safe way to exercise your body. This is why, and I think water training has gotten a bad rap because it's so safe that oftentimes when you see people exercising in water, it's the elderly.
I was going to say, I think that's why I got, because people see elderly people doing it. It's like all your silver sneakers are in the pool doing the pool exercises.
So it must be because it's easy. There's no value in it.
Yeah, no,
not true.
No,
if you're advanced and strong, you just push harder and you move harder.
I told you guys when I worked with the San Jose City College, we went in the pool and worked on our sprinting for at least 20 minutes or so. It was brutal. And you're just all out effort because you're supported. It doesn't put that crazy impact on your joints.
100%. So, and it's a very great way to exercise. The thing about exercising in the water, don't get fooled. It's not just for older people or obese people or people in rehab. It's one of the few, there's very few things like this. There's very few things in fitness that will provide value to both beginners and extreme advanced. Oftentimes it's this is maybe for more advanced. This is really mostly valuable for people in the beginning stages. Underwater or in the water type training is valuable for everybody because if you're stronger and faster, you can just push harder and move quicker. And if you have injuries or you're older, you just move slower. Yeah. And it's got that safety, part of it. Next up, hand strengthening. You know what they did? They did a lot of bucket carrying, and they would also squeeze clay throughout the day. I think this is valuable because if I took 50 gym fanatics, I bet you they all miss hand strength in relation to their body strength. I bet you although their hands are stronger than the average person because they lift weights, I bet you their hands in proportion to the rest of their body are still weak. Yeah. They're still going to be weak. And you're missing out.
It's your limiting factor.
Yes.
I mean, if you can get your hands strong and your grip strong, that just translates to every single lift you're going to do, especially with the barbell.
People think it's all back exercises, by the way. That's not true. Go do a bench press and use wrist straps, the ones you would use for pulling, on the bar with a bench press so your grip is real tight. Tell me you can't lift more weight.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's crazy. You don't realize that because you don't understand and account for just that minimal amount of lateral or rotational force opposing it.
That's right. I
would put shoveling concrete and or bales of hay here too.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's the same category.
You just wait till we get to number 7.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting. Today's program giveaway is MAPS Aesthetic. If you want to win, leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. Do all those things. If you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. We also have a sale. MAPS 15 minutes, 50% off. Head over to maps15minutes.com, maps15minutes.com. Use the code MUSCLE50, MUSCLE50 for 50% off. Back to the show. You know, it's interesting, you know, as a kid, when I used to help my dad in the summers, he worked blue collar and he was a tile setter. And oftentimes he would take me when they were doing a lot, like when they were floating floors, like lots and lots of cement on the floor. And I was the 14-year-old kid. So my job was just get the buckets and, you know, bring them over here with you know, cement.
Gopher boy. Yeah.
And man, my hands, I mean, I'll get blisters and whatever. My hands got so strong from doing that. When I'd go back to lifting weights, I could just feel the transfer, even on pressing movements, which people have no idea.
Dude. Yeah.
No idea. Here's another one. Running. They did lots of running, but they would run in heavy boots. Now, I don't know.
This one was funny that you had this. This is the one that I thought was so off right here.
I don't know if there's an application for the average person. I think people are so terrible at running that if I put them in heavy anything, it's just going to make things worse.
Yeah.
I could see the value of this for somebody who's really wants to toughen themselves, maybe a soldier.
Is it also because it helps you stay on the balls of your feet because you have heels?
You know, boxers of that day just did hard things to make them tough.
Yeah, that's all I would amount it to.
Yeah, so
I don't know that there's.
You know who runs in heavy boots a lot? Soldiers.
Yeah, military.
A lot. They don't give them running shoes. Yeah. They're not like, here's your balanced out. This will correct your pronation.
Here's your New Balance.
They're like, here's your boots.
Here's your on clouds.
Yeah, you're gonna go run your ass off. So
we're teasing my buddy. Like we were at a country concert this weekend, and he shows up in his on clouds. I'm like, bro, could you be more 45 or what?
Oh my god! Does he have one of those like pop up chairs?
You know what I did? I put my hands around his waist. So I'm like, you have back support right here. It's like, fuck off, man.
Yeah. Now I will say what you could take away from this is
the comfy life.
It's so long as you've checked all the other boxes. I do think making daily things a little harder. I do think there's some value for some people. I'll use myself as an example. So I'm not one to advocate wearing a weight vest. I think wearing a weight vest can provide some value, but I think for most people, what they're looking for, there's better ways to do what they want without the weight vest. Like someone's like, oh, I want to burn more calories. Better way to do it. Oh, I want to get stronger. Better way to do it. But if somebody goes backpacking, if they do rucking, I think it's good. But I do think there's value if you check all the boxes. You already walk 10,000 steps a day. Let's say you already do a 45-minute walk every day. You're fit, and you just want to make it harder because there's value sometimes in doing things that are harder. Yeah. I think wearing a weight vest would be an example of like what they did with the heavy boots.
Just like crazy incline.
Yeah, and I've been doing that. I've been doing that recently. 3 or 4 days a week, I walk to, there's a park that's like a 30-minute walk there and back, and I take my kids, and I put on a 30-pound weight vest. It's not so heavy that it's like, but it's harder. Yeah. And I can definitely see the value.
I mean, my favorite use for it when I used to wear a weight vest was doing dips and pull-ups.
Of course.
Just because it's like, it's awkward any other way too. Like you have that belt and you have a hanging weight. It's like, that actually makes sense to me.
It does. All right. Next up, again, I don't know if this applies to people. Punching hard objects. You know what's crazy about this, by the way? So
approve.
This is a fun little science fact. Old school martial artists did this, Muay Thai fighters, karate fighters, and then boxers did this. They would punch hard objects to toughen their hands, their shins, their feet.
Yeah.
And we now have the science to support what they did. They would produce microfractures in bone.
Yep.
And the bone would heal back stronger. So if you look at bone, if you look closely at bone, a cross section of bone, there's like this kind of honeycomb, organization, right? There's spaces in between how the bone comes together where there's like air pockets almost. That's where you create the microfractures. And then what happens is those pockets of air get filled in with more bone.
That's got to be such an art, because it's got to be the right
years.
amount. Like of they call it conditioning. I remember doing this too for Muay Thai for my shins. And they called it like, shin conditioning.
Yeah.
Just like conditioning. I was beating the shit out of my shins.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, to be able to get it to a point where you can heal and then it can actually calcify and then it becomes harder. But then it's like, okay, but am I going to get arthritis really bad like later on in life? Like, I don't know, but it did make sense. And I did get harder shins as a result.
This reminds me of LLS training for marijuana plants. So it's low level stress training.
Oh yeah.
And what you
told me about this.
What you used to do, and it's a very
you learned a lot through that whole process.
You've seen the geeky side of me.
Every once in a while he applies it to fitness.
Yeah. Well, no,
it does make sense.
It's what this is. You're making micro fractures.
So you're like twisting it a little bit.
You take the stem and you gotta be very careful because you kill the plant if you break it. So you have to just enough, and you can hear it kind of go and pop just a little bit. And then what happens is like a knuckle will form, and then the stem will get twice as strong and twice as thick and big.
Yeah.
Which you
and
have.
What's it called?
Huh? Low level stress training.
Wow.
Yeah. I believe that was the term. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Well, I think the application here for the average person is just that doing things that are challenging, and this is a physiological example of it, but mentally this doesn't.
Makes you more resilient.
You become more resilient.
Yeah.
And that's a great physiological example. You can actually look at the bone and see that they become denser and harder through years and years of what they would call conditioning or whatever. But this is what happens to your mind. This is what happens to your body. This is what happens to your behavior, your tolerance for stress. If you're somebody that is easily overwhelmed with stress, challenging yourself a little bit does have the, as long as you're not overwhelmed by it, does have the ability of strengthening you, essentially making you tougher, All right, next up, this one's interesting because you see fitness people doing this one, and I know they do this for the views, but fighters had a real reason for doing this. And these are medicine ball drills. What you would get hit in the solar plexus.
I hate this trend.
I know.
I hate this trend.
Balls, you're doing crunches.
This is the trend of the kids punching each other in the abs while the guys do crunches.
This is not an ab workout. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's an ab workout. No, it's not going to build your abs. It's not going to make your. But you know what it does for fighters is it trains them, I should say,
to brace
on how to take a blow.
brace for a punch. Yeah. And to be doing it while breathing and exercising and stuff that. There's a technique to it.
That's right.
The reason why that annoys me so much is because
it's so specific.
It is very specific. So it's like, hey, if you're a fighter and you're doing that, I got no problem. I got no qualms with that. But if you're just some kid trying to get abs, it's a stupid way to do it.
Cool.
Unless you work in a gym where someone's going to punch you.
And I know that's 95% of the Instagram viral videos that went that way.
None
of these guys were fighting. If you're fighting, it makes total sense.
Yes.
I mean, it makes total sense why to do that. But that's an example of one of those things that is a very, it's like the also the other trend. The trend where remember when it became popular to wear the deprivation, the deprivation mask while you get on the Stairmaster. It's like, well, I mean, if you're a UFC fighter, it makes a little sense when someone's going to have your arm around your mouth while they're tackling. But all the rest of you fools, this is not beneficial. So. Yeah, I think it's one of those that very specific if you're going to use some of it. These three in the middle are the I think the
least amount.
Yes, out of I like all of them.
Now number 7 I think is really cool. I think number 7 is really cool.
Yeah,
the fighters of that era, they would actually go do heavy hard labor because it made them fit. They would go do blacksmithing, or they'd go chop trees down, or they'd go lay bricks. Now here's why I like this. There's a lot of kids watching and listening to this, right? And I say kids, these are teenagers, maybe early 20s, and you need to get a job anyway.
Yeah.
And you want to be fit. You want to be fit and you need a job. Instead of getting a job working at the front desk at Chipotle or whatever, over the summer, you want to get some fitness that you'll also get paid for, that also will make you tough. Go do some blue collar work.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I apply this more now in it was not until probably my mid-30s that I started doing this, but it just dawned on me at one point that there was these times where I would leave my house and go to the gym to go walk on the treadmill for an hour or whatever. And I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I may as well clean the house or wash a car or, pull weeds or scrub the tile. And like, there was just so many things that I could always do at the house that was like manual labor that also made my house better, cleaner, or whatever. It's like, what am I doing? Like, if the desired outcome is like this kind of low level calorie burn that I would go do on the treadmill, like, so that's how I am now. There's times where I know that I'm trying to create more activity in my day where I won't go to the gym. I'll intentionally find something that's labor around the house. So it's like, oh, I may as well do this thing right now because I'm trying to kick up. And I wish that was taught to me younger, because as a kid, if I was playing in the middle of sports season, trying to get in shape, do those things, if my parents sold that right to me, they probably could have convinced me to do a lot of shit around the house.
Well, they definitely got that with me.
Yeah.
Threw me out.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do a lot of that labor too, but they weren't selling it to me like it was going to improve my game, or else I would have.
It is a paradigm shift. It's a massive paradigm shift. Like you're walking on a treadmill and you're going nowhere. You're doing it for exercise, but the point is you're not going to a destination. You're not accomplishing anything else.
It's not productive.
You could go do something around the house that you have to do anyway.
Right.
You should.
Yeah. Right.
But the paradigm shift for somebody who's fitness minded suddenly will make it enjoyable.
Yes.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
I remember when this happened to some of my clients. When the Body Bug first came out, this was one of the first movement trackers, calorie tracking, how many calories you burn type of deal. It was one of the first devices to do it. I had clients that were like, oh my God, I'm doing more stuff around the house now because I can see now how beneficial the activity is. And it was a paradigm shift. But this hard labor one or heavy labor one is a great one. Like if it's in summertime, you're not going to school, and you're like, I need to get a summer job. Instead of working at the mall, go mix some concrete or go
build up that work capacity.
Go find a local farm, dude. There's always work to be done.
And they're going to give you, and you're going to get some skills that are valuable.
When I was in high school, that was the thought process. Although I wasn't looking for it for exercise, I like in my town was so small.
That's all there was.
You either worked at fast food, which I was like, there's no way I'm going to in a fast food line where my friends are going to come mess with me every day. Like, there's no way I'm doing that. I'd rather do the labor. And so you work at a farm. So everywhere there's, even if you live in a city right outside of your city is probably some farms. You go find a farm, there's probably somebody looking for work for sure.
Next up, and I think this is just a great way to do cardio, especially HIIT cardio, is jumping rope.
Yep.
Jumping rope is a phenomenal workout. Now, it is a skill. If you've never done it, you're not good at it, start slow. But it strengthens your feet, your ankles. Of course, it gives you it's actually good for shoulder mobility. People don't realize that. For shoulder stability, it's really good. Being able to hold the rope where it is and
just
spin.
Organizing your whole body to produce that one movement and clean and having really good form. Because every time you attempt it, you get better and you get more efficient at it. So then it's like it kind of compiles from there. So I just started doing this again just to try and like keep some kind of like speed and snap, with my feet. Yeah,
and I have yet to see someone who does a lot of rope jumping who doesn't have decent looking calves.
Great calves.
I mean,
I have a couple buddies that they were big and they swear by that all the time.
Yeah.
Every time they see me training my calves, they're like, bro, just jump rope.
Yeah.
Rope. So there's not a lot of things that I'm like really uncoordinated with. That's one of those things.
Is it really?
Yeah. I think part of it was because for the longest time, I had no idea that there was different rope sizes. And so I was probably using what everybody, the rope,
the short one?
Yeah, the one that everybody else jumps rope. I'm the 6'3" guy hitting the back of my head all the time. I was like, this is stupid. I'm not doing this anymore. And then it was like years later, I figured out like, there's rope sizes. So they're not all just like standard.
You do the leather rope without shoes and barefoot.
Oh yeah.
So you pay for it when you fuck up.
Yeah, but you gotta build up to that. Like the average person goes barefoot with
but I'm saying there's levels, dude.
Yeah, you're talking plantar fasciitis city or whatever. All right, lastly, this is an interesting one because there's a lot of value to it. I don't know if people do this a lot anymore. Athletes still do it. It's visualization. Mm-hmm. It's funny. They've done studies.
There's one of my favorite studies. It's a basketball study.
Yes.
It's a free throw study.
Yes.
It's such a cool study. And I don't remember what year they did that, but it's relatively new. It's not like an old study.
It's a few decades old, isn't it?
No, I don't think it's that old.
It's less than that?
Yeah,
10 years maybe, right?
It's more like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's relatively new. And they took 3 groups. They took a group that I forgot how many they shot. Maybe Doug can find the exact numbers here, but they shot a certain amount. And then they had another group that did, I think, significantly more than that. And then another group that just visualized it, didn't do any of it.
And thought about doing the shots.
Yes. And the one that like shot about doing the shots ended up with like as good of a percentage.
Like an equal showing.
Yes. It was fascinating. Are you looking it up, Doug?
I am.
Yeah, free throw visualization.
Visualization.
It was in the University of Chicago in 1996.
Oh, see, told you.
No, you're right.
Wow,
It was.
shit.
So there's 3 groups, it looks like. The first one, don't touch a basketball for 30 days.
That's it.
That's it.
Nothing
The
but
second
visualize, right?
No visualization.
Nothing.
Oh,
That was
nothing.
The second
control
group was told to practice shooting free throws for half an hour a day for 30 days. And the third group was to come to the gym for 30 days, spend a half hour with their eyes closed, simply visualizing hitting
That's right.
every free throw. So after 30 days, the first group, who did not practice at all, showed no improvement, as you would think.
Duh.
The second group had practiced every day and showed a 24% improvement. The third group, who had simply visualized successful free throws, showed a 23% improvement.
So
Almost identical.
Pretty
Almost
much
the
the same.
Yeah. So that's
amazing.
I mean, it's as valuable as just practicing, which is crazy.
Now, of course, you're not training the muscles, but you're training the central nervous system. But your brain doesn't know the difference.
That's the part that's so fascinating, is because you know that obviously practicing the repetitions, because the muscle memory part of it is going to be beneficial. There was no doubt that second group was going to improve because they practiced it. What's fascinating is that the group that didn't practice at all actually gained that much benefit.
Here's the application.
Do both is the takeaway.
Well, I was just going to say, here's the application. Like, there's a lot of exercises.
Sequence,
There's a lot of exercises that are technical. Squatting, deadlifting, overhead pressing, Olympic lifts especially. And you're going to go do them because you're working out, right? You're going to go squat because you want to develop your legs. You're going to go deadlift because you want to get stronger in the posterior chain or whatever. But also visualizing will probably add to how fast you get good at that exercise. And what this would look like, in my experience, is you're on your way to the gym. You're gonna go, or tomorrow's your workout. Just sit and think about getting that perfect rep and getting in the groove and knowing where your feet are and how you press off the floor and where the bar sits. That is not hokey. It actually works, and the data shows it.
Or do that when you're supposed to be resting.
In between sets. Oh, great point, Justin.
I wonder.
exactly
I
what I
wonder
mean.
how much of this, because I guarantee anybody who is a pro bodybuilder that's listening to this, this is your life. So this is all you do.
100%.
It's the only time in my life I ever thought about working out that much. And we're no one's really talking about we talk all about their programming, their diet, all stuff like that. Like how much of their benefit is coming from just the thinking about lifting all the time. Like I can't imagine what it is if you know that just thinking about the free throws made a difference. I have a list if you guys.
Oh yeah, you got a list?
Yeah, I got a list since we're doing lists right now. I saw this and I thought, this would be funny to ask the guys. So these are the top 10 jobs Gen Alpha want to be when they grow up. And I think Gen Alpha, Doug, can you look up what the exact age?
They're like adolescent to early teens.
Yeah, my son to maybe Everett, somewhere around there, maybe. I would guess.
Oh, so that young?
I think so. Well, let me see. Let's ask Doug what Gen Alpha is.
Yeah.
So it'll tell you what year they were born. But what do you guys think, while he's looking that up, what do you think, specific jobs too, okay? So when you think of it, don't think of a general job, think of a very specific jobs are the top 10. I have all 10.
I think a YouTuber would be
okay. YouTuber is number 1.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Wow.
Say what Gen Alpha is what? 2010 to 2024.
Okay. So someone could be 15 right now.
Yeah.
And they're Gen Alpha.
Does that cover too, like
no, there's
streaming?
No, just like it's literally YouTuber is like its own thing. So you say streamer?
Twitch streamer.
Yeah. Streamer is number 8. Okay. So YouTuber's number 1, streamer's number 8. Throw out some more you guys got.
Ooh.
I mean, you got
DoorDash.
No, brother.
That's my son's like. I can't wait to DoorDash.
Just to give you a little bit of hint, there are some traditional jobs on here. Not many, but there are some like what a kid in the 80s would say too. Probably
firefighter.
No.
Okay. Astronaut.
Social media influencer.
I thought I saw influencer on here. I'll give you TikTok creator, Doug.
Okay. Oh God, that's another real specific.
That's number 2. YouTubers 1, TikTok creators number 2. Wow. You're missing number 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7.
Podcaster.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
No,
they don't listen to podcasts.
No, not yet. Yeah,
they're not into it.
I don't know, bro. Give me them. That's weird.
So, app game developer. Is 4.
Sure.
Doctor and nurse is still number 3.
Okay.
So that's still up there. Number 5 is still entrepreneur.
Oh, good.
6 is artist. 7 is professional athlete. 8, Doug nailed, online streamer. 9 is musician. 10 is teacher. But YouTubers,
of all of those,
so like 2
are realistic.
Options are realistic. The rest are just bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man.
Like name the ones that are realistic in there.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Teacher.
That's about it.
Maybe app game developer is a realistic,
like working as a developer.
Yeah, if you, I mean,
okay, so 3 out of 10.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah, the rest are YouTuber. Yeah, right. Okay, TikToker. Yeah, right. Artist. Well, maybe if you're professional. I mean, those are some.
What does that mean?
Online streamer. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Musician. Quite a few of these are like.
Whenever somebody tells
artist, musician, nah, dude, that's passion, but it's not like, oh, I'm gonna be a career.
Yeah, if somebody ever says like to you, like, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm an artist. You know what I hear? Unemployed.
Broke.
Yeah.
Broke.
Oh, you're unemployed. You don't have a job.
I mean, I love it and I'm into it, but I know.
But I mean,
leads to broke
it's pretty
city.
crazy to think that because I bet you in the 80s, you said firefighter. I bet you in the 80s it was
Astronaut was probably still
firefighter,
there.
astronaut. I wonder if that list is out there. Maybe look for in the
nobody wants to be a
1980s
cop
top
anymore.
10 jobs
That kids wanted
That
to
kids
be.
wanted. I wonder if
Pro
they-
wrestler would have been in there.
You think so?
You think?
In the 80s?
I mean, I definitely
80s,
like your
yeah.
I like your firefighter for sure. I like cop in there for sure. Those were two probably in the 80s that were still
Pro wrestlers got to be in there.
You
dude.
think so?
Bro, do you guys remember?
Of course I do.
I want to be like a Navy SEAL, when I was a kid.
Did you really?
yeah.
I didn't even know they existed when I was a kid.
I always.
I knew Green
wanted to do
Beret
that.
when I was a kid. Navy SEAL
yeah.
came
because
later.
of Rambo.
Because that's right.
Oh, Rambo. Yeah.
Your entire education of the kid is
That's all you know.
Rocky and Rambo.
Well, not
dude.
mine.
That's where most of your knowledge comes from. The students
Yeah.
from that.
So in the 80s, popular dream jobs were athlete, doctor, teacher, and musician.
Oh, all the same.
Yeah.
What boys often aspired to be firefighters, engineers,
Oh,
and
there's
astronauts.
there you go.
While girls wanted to be doctors,
Engineers.
teachers, scientists, or
Chef
a
or
chef or a baker. All many other common ones.
So
are
what I was
artists,
looking for
actors.
is what replaced TikTok and YouTuber, right? Because that's 1 and 2.
Well, a movie, an actor, I guess, would have been what they would have said back then.
They didn't say that though. It's,
I know.
It's, yeah,
Yeah,
they're-
nobody. That's funny, man.
That's a
Hollywood
lot.
actors. Nobody cares.
Detective and investigator was a common one back then. That's interesting.
Yeah, what was so popular in the 80s? Was
I'm
there
trying
a,
to think.
a show that we watched that
Inspector
was
Gadget.
yes.
I showed my kids that the other day. I think it's hilarious, dude. I gotta tell you guys, this just reminded me of something I did over the weekend.
What?
My wife she went.
Where were you guys all this weekend? Did you go somewhere?
Sorry. I was just taking care of Courtney and all weekend.
Oh, that's right. She had
basically.
the appendix removed.
Yeah.
How is she? How is she?
She's good now. I mean, it's you know how it is after a surgery. You think it's going to be no big deal, and it's like she couldn't even it's all core related. Everything,
Yeah.
you use
Everything
your
hurts.
core for. So
Right.
it's just she's in a lot of
It
pain.
took my buddy
still.
2 weeks to go back to work.
Yeah.
from his
Whoa.
appendix getting removed.
So it was scary, and then it's good because we got answers, and then we were able to do it that same day.
Good.
And then come home. But yeah, it was like I was like putting my little nurse hat on.
Are you a good caretaker, or are you like
I'm
Adam?
horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like,
I'm
did you say
horrible.
like me?
I really
Get annoyed.
I really was outside of my normal self to try and overcompensate for that fact that I'm not like that nurturing.
I mean, Katrina said
personality.
she went and saw Courtney, and she said, Justin was like, he wouldn't even leave her side and didn't want to leave. He was going to sleep out in the
Well,
parking
her
lot.
point of
He
reference
came to my house.
Her point of reference is you. That's why. He was smiling.
Yeah,
He's amazing.
He was there. It's just, Katrina's like,
It's more like I'll yeah.
I'm not that bad.
I'm there to
I'm
suffer
not
with
that
you,
bad.
but I'm not there to make you things and fluff your pillow.
No,
You know what
I'm with you. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, well, the one thing though,
You're a terrible patient too. You're
yeah,
both.
I am both.
You're just angry.
But Katrina, I mean, we talk about this a lot, right? Like, I'm good if you ask me. What I'm not good is to do it.
Think
Like,
of it.
that
Yeah,
I'm not. Like, so she and I said that, and that, I feel like in our relationship we've communicated that enough. It's like, hey, that's fair. Like, you just gotta, and because what she's bad about too is and I'm sure Courtney's like this. She's tough. I can handle it. Like, my wife is, I got it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. So she has that D1 mentality goes into everything she does. So she'll act like she's not really hurting or that sick until she gets snaps at me, and then I'm like, whoa, what's
Courtney toughs it out a lot, and then she has a very specific way in an order of sequence of things.
because she's a nurse, so she has like,
And
what are you
if
doing bringing
if I
that
don't
to
do
me?
one of those things in that sequence, it's like I'm like, okay,
well,
figure it out.
my wife's she's very good at telling me what she needs. She's not feeling good. She'll tell me exactly.
Yeah, Jessica's got like a list.
She'll just tell me, can you rub my feet? And I'll rub, not like that. Rub my feet.
yeah.
Okay, all right. No, you're not doing a good job. Like, oh my
She
God.
did say I did a good job though, so I came through.
So we're
No, you guys do well,
Worked it
bro.
out.
Listen,
We're good.
I'm all joking, bro. When your wife was really sick, you were
Well, that's
you were there.
Nah,
bro.
that was
I
like,
thought of you actually through the whole thing. I was like, oh my God, dude, because that was so long. That,
And it was scary.
Yeah, it's scary the
It
whole
was
time.
real
You didn't have
scary.
answers. I was like,
I had
fuck,
7
dude,
days
Adam
in
must have been-
Mexico, dog. 7 days,
and it was a scary 7 days.
7 days in Mexico with a language barrier, like.
And it was and you didn't know. I mean, it was scary.
Oh yeah, I didn't know anything. I mean, and all I'm hearing is that she could go septic and die, and to see she was not there.
Yeah.
Like the first day and a half, she wasn't even coherent.
Yeah.
So I can't even get feedback from her. I don't speak Spanish. So I'm like trying to do that whole thing and figure it all out. Then I'm like texting you and all my doctor friends, like, what does this mean? Like, oh my God. And then, it dragged on for 7 days.
Yeah, that was the thing, because I was trying really hard to like communicate to all her. She wanted me to communicate to all her friends, her family, and all, and I had 10 different threads going at the same time, and was just like towards the end, got her home and everything's settled, and then I kind of stepped outside and I started getting I don't know. It just was it all kind of rushed at once, what had happened. It kind of sunk in, and then I get angry and so I had to take it outside on my own and kind of vent out and
Oh, I snapped on the family.
I had to get away from everybody.
I snapped at everybody. I told everyone, do not talk to me. Talk to somebody else about it. Nobody cares more than I care. I'm here. Nobody's more connected to medical professionals than I am in this family. So I don't want anybody's everyone was trying to give me opinion back home, and I'm like, dude, I do not. That's not what I need right now.
Scared.
Oh yeah, I'll call you and act trust me. I was calling my friends that I wanted their opinion on that stuff. You got a call from me, but the family that all started, everyone, and they care, right? So I get it. I understand why.
They're scared.
But in that moment, I'm just like, oh, I couldn't handle that too.
Caretaking is considered one of the most stressful things that people will go through. When they list the most stressful things you'll go through,
I believe it.
It's long-term caretaking, taking care of it like an elderly parent.
Yeah,
and they'll show the
Katrina said when she came home, she said Justin looked like he ran a marathon. She's like I could just see how exhausted he was.
It's tough, man.
Had to keep going.
Well, it's physically and emotionally. That's why. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you care about the person, it's not like you're just hired to help them. It's somebody you actually care about. So
I don't know if where you felt this afterwards. The thing for Katrina and I get, and because maybe it was so life or death situation. Boy, the connection that it gave us afterwards. It was and she admits that up into that point. She just talked about this weekend. We're opening up and sharing some stories like this, and she brought this up, and she's just like, I have to admit that before that day happened, I didn't think you loved me that much. Oh, it wasn't until that moment that she realized,
that's nice.
Oh, it was great. I think that's why it brought us on a deeper level.
Well, that's all. I mean, anytime you go through something really challenging with your partner, at the other end of it, it can be incredible.
Well, especially if you're terrible like I am, I'm terrible at expressing that stuff and saying that stuff. Yeah. And then, but of course, in the moment, of course, I would take a bullet for her or do whatever, right? Yeah. So it took that for her to see it and feel it at the level. So a lot of that's my bad, right? Leading up to that, I hadn't made her feel that way enough. But that moment, it gave her that though. So now that she's checked that box, okay, there's no question in my mind, would he be there for me type of deal, because we went through that. So.
Yeah, we had a little bit of that. I think the silver lining really, and I told you guys kind of the state of where Everett's at with, it's been a bit confrontational and a little bit of friction between Courtney and him as he's going through puberty and changing all this and kind of pushing her away from being the little baby. He doesn't want to be known as a little baby and all this. And so all this happened. He was asleep. We were about to podcast and I took off and then went home and picked her up, took her to the ER. But Everett was still in his room and was asleep and didn't know all this was happening. I was leaning on Ethan to really kind of help get all the things and prepare her to help, bring her to the car. And so he found out as we had gone and we were at the hospital, and he's like, "What? Mom's at the hospital?" And he freaked him out. And it was great because he came in after she kind of came home from the surgery and all this stuff and was just broke down. And he's just like, "I'm so sorry. I've been so hard on you." And, and it was it was great because it's puts it in perspective. It's dude, you almost lost your mom, in your mind, but
right.
It's so he really took that to heart. So
that's wonderful.
So that ended up being a good thing at the end of all of it.
It's always great to see how God can turn tough, hard things into. He can turn it around into something really good. I
totally hijacked your story. Sorry, I was reminded of Justin's thing. So I was just thinking about that weekend. No. So what happened?
Well, we had a couple things. So Friday I filmed the first of the series that I'm going to do.
You filmed it?
Yeah, I filmed it with Dylan. So let me ask you guys this: when was the last time you guys saw me get really visibly nervous to be on camera?
Never, bro. You love the camera.
Never.
Yeah, never.
It's never happened.
You're only if I ever see it, that's only to get on stage. That's the only time you.
Right. And even then, do you guys see me like shaking?
No.
No. I've never. Okay, day one when Doug filmed me for Maps Anabolic, this is when I knew that this is something I can do. He put me on camera and I felt right away, very comfortable. I don't know what it is, but it never bothered me whatsoever. Anything I do on camera, in fact, you put me in front of a crowd, in front of a camera, and I look at the camera, I won't even be nervous anymore. Don't know why.
Yeah.
I have never, and my buddy Chuck, he's one of the pastors at the church I go to, because the whole topic of the series is like, how do I do fitness for God's glory, not for mine, not for anybody else. Like it's always been for me, right? It's always been this kind of like back and forth dysfunctional thing. And he warned me. He goes, bro, it's gonna be a lot harder than you think. Oh. He goes, it's gonna be a lot harder than you think. And so sure enough, dude, first off, literally morning of, Dylan's supposed to meet me at my house at like 6:45 because we were gonna.
Damn, he made you get up at that time.
That's the time I woke up, bro.
You see what Sal
You're
does?
a champ, bro. Dylan's a champ.
Hey,
I'm sure
like,
he didn't even
Dylan,
question it.
Like
he
3 o'clock, I'll see you.
I know.
Yeah, anyway,
and he's a champ, dude. I'm so glad he's the one on the other side of the camera, by the way. But I was originally going to go to Santa Cruz Fitness, the Santa Cruz gym.
Yeah, that was the plan, right?
That was the plan. But I woke up in the morning, and the night before, I was just disturbed about it. I guess would be the word that I want to use. Just like it was kind of consuming. I had it in the back of my mind, but it was consuming.
Didn't feel right
a little bit. It was just like I'm going to do this thing. It's going to be hard or whatever. Wake up in the morning. The morning's going great. I don't remember what happened with Jessica, but she said something to me, and I just laid into her. Which I'm like, what am I? And I just totally hammered her and started this big fight. And shortly after, I'm like, oh my god, that was like, why am I such a? What's going on here? Try to repair that a little bit. Then I'm like, hey, Dylan, I want to go to the studio because I know the way I feel. And if I'm in a gym like that, it's going to be even worse.
Right, take me to a place I feel like home.
So we come here, and this is 100%, I'm being 100% honest. We go out here, and I'm like, Dylan, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom for 20 minutes, feel like I'm going to throw up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
I'm visibly shaking and nervous. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I'm praying, like, okay, what is this going to look like? And we did it. And on the way here, he's filming me, and I'm talking in the car about what I'm trying to do. I don't know what this is going to look like. I'm going to try and submit and let go. And again, and so it was interesting. We did it, and it was great when we did it. And Dylan is, again, like I said, he's the right guy for the job, but really weird. Really, really weird that happened. Never felt like that before.
You just feel like extra vulnerable with this?
I mean, there's a few ways to look at it. I would explain.
I would imagine there's a part of you that is wrestling with your old tendencies of what you'll want to do and what you're supposed to do, and then you're also being filmed while working that out. And you get to privately normally do that.
Maybe,
and you have to publicly do that.
That's
now.
part of it. That's part of it. I guess the secular side of me would say that. Although I can get vulnerable talking on here, and it doesn't bother me. The other here's the spiritual side. So if you're not religious, you can tune out or think it's silly. Those of us who are believe in this, but there's also the spiritual side of it, where when you get closer to moving towards God, or you're going to maybe potentially even influence people in that direction, that you become a target. And it was like I said, not only have I never felt that kind of nervousness in front of a camera, I can't think of the last time I felt nervous like that ever.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was really weird.
That is strange.
It was really,
now,
really
did you,
weird.
Unlike you.
Did you get a sense of relief afterwards?
The sense I have,
or did you just dread, God, I got to do this again?
The sense there's two. I have a very strong sense of purpose behind it.
Okay.
But I also have this understanding that it's going to be a tough season. There's going to be a 3-month period where it's going to suck.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be all over the place. So I don't know. But it was interesting.
When does it go live? When you go live, Dylan?
I think the first episode will be this week, hopefully. Yeah.
This week?
Oh, cool.
Okay. So by the time this airs, it should be
by then.
It should be up. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna this is me thinking out loud a little bit, right? I'm gonna include a few friends who've also had a relationship with fitness that I think will convey it well, like Dennis Roberts.
Oh, nice.
He's a world-class jiu-jitsu fighter, fought in MMA. Because he's been so and I've already asked these people permission. Because he's been so single-minded in the past, he's injured his body and hurt himself in ways that
Yeah.
he says maybe could have been avoided.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Johnny Sebastian on, pro bodybuilder.
Also probably wrestles with the same thing as you do.
Right now he is for sure.
I was going to say.
He's definitely wrestling.
He's been that way for a
He's
long
in
time.
prep right now, in fact, for a competition.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Chuck, who's one of my good mentors, Christian mentors. So we're going to talk about it. He also likes to work out, but really just from a theological standpoint, I can ask him these questions. And then I'll probably have some with you guys where we're going to sit down for 20 minutes and I'm going to ask you guys what my problem is. And you guys can tell me.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. I can't wait for that one.
I sold it to you.
I've already got a list. I've been actually working on it. It's funny you're going to do this.
I've been writing a list out
The
for
whole grocery list. Yeah.
That's literally what I'm going to ask you. What do you guys think my problem is?
Stupid.
Because I trust you guys, and we get to film it. So anyway, so that's what's going on.
Oh, that's
Right
great.
on.
I was gonna what I was gonna talk about.
So that was your weekend. You did.
No, then we my uncle who passed away, a few weeks ago. We put his ashes with my grandparents, so we also did that. So that was also on my mind. But it was really nice, man. I got to tell you guys, it was by my house where the cemetery is, and my wife very graciously offered up our home for the whole family. And my wife did such an amazing. She's so gifted at creating a space for people when they're going through difficult times. My family is so grateful, and she did that, man. All I did was order the food that we had, but she organized the home and where people would sit, and the music and the energy, and the children can play over here, and my whole family was just like, man, you guys, and they're thanking me too, and I'm like, I did nothing. My wife did all of it, so you got to thank her. So it was a very painful but also healing time. It was like the final. This is it. Yeah, we're done with all that stuff. So
good.
yeah, it's really. But other than that, that's it. That was this weekend. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Legion's egg protein. I think I brought it up on an earlier podcast. I love it. Have you guys used it?
I have not. Because it's relatively new, right? They didn't have
very
it before.
new.
Yeah, no, I haven't had it.
It tastes.
Do we have some here?
I think
I took it.
We did. I think
take it?
yes. I did get a
been a long
bag.
time
I have
since
one
I
bag.
I don't.
Have you been using it, Doug?
I have. I love it.
okay.
It tastes good too.
It tastes super good. The amino acid profile on it is incredible. It's just as good as whey for building muscle, recovery, all that stuff.
How would you guys compare it? Because his whey tastes bomb. So how would you?
I
guys-
think it's
it's
better
really
than
really
whey.
good.
Personally,
I used to get the old.
It's got better mouthfeel.
Yes, like
Whey is thin.
I used to intentionally pump egg whites into my shakes just for the mouth, not because I was trying. Oh, there's 20 more grams. No, it's more like
Gives you a little bit more of a creamy.
It frosts the smoothie. It makes it even better. So I imagine it would have a taste like that.
Yeah. So for people who can't digest dairy very well and they want like a high quality muscle building protein, that's a great alternative.
I had a concern before I started taking it though. Was it's going to upset my stomach? No problem.
Same.
Yeah.
Same here.
Is speaking of you, Doug, are you next on the fitness podcast?
Yes, I think it's going live today, which is when we're recording this episode.
So it's already up
Elite
then.
Trainer Podcast.
I don't think it's up yet. It's going up this
Well,
afternoon.
it will
Yeah.
be because by the time this airs, it'll have already been up. I know Dylan's putting it up today or this afternoon or whatever. So you're next.
I'm next. And
What
I'm
did he
talking
interview you
financial
about?
things. So I'm talking about how to structure your business, whether you should form an entity or not form an entity, some tax things. I mean, for full disclosure, I'm not a CPA, but I do have a lot of experience, and that's what I'm sharing.
You know your stuff.
I really hope. I have high hopes for this podcast because obviously I don't expect it to be the size of Mind Pump because we're not going after the general population. We're going for very specific,
For trainers and coaches.
helping trainers, coaches, and any health professionals that want to scale, build their business, or even start being a personal trainer. So, and the point of having all of us like that is to be very well-rounded. Obviously, there's many things that's not related to knowing personal training that requires this business to go, and that's why I'm so glad he has Doug doing that because there's so many things that he does.
That's a blind spot for coaches and trainers. Big time.
Oh yeah,
It is for a lot of entrepreneurs.
yes, exactly.
Especially trainers.
Yeah.
The trainers do not know any of that stuff. I have never met a trainer who understood that very well. Ever. I didn't at all. So
yeah. So
pretty crazy.
No, excited for.
I also got to talk about my brother's success in the new car he bought.
Oh, you're sharing it.
Yes. Well, so my brother, he cracks me up, right? Great father, good man. He's been doing really well at work. He's a financial advisor, and he's he's conservative with his money.
Very much so.
He does a good job. He takes care of his family.
He could have bought that car a long time ago.
Yes, he takes care of his family. He's not one to go just like be flash or whatever. But he, like you, Adam, he loves cars.
Yes,
like he genuinely gets joy out of cool cars, fast cars, whatever. And he's been probably for the last year or two talking about the Corvette Z06.
Oh, longer than that. I was talking to him 2 or 3 years ago at the Christmas party and how bad he wanted that car.
Yeah.
And I knew he could go buy it then, but the market was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He found one for a crazy deal.
Bro, he got a steal. When he got that, just to give some numbers of I spec'd that exact car and I was going to buy it. And the reason why I didn't was after I did the whole thing. So I got an allocation. I got all excited because this dealer said, I got one. Someone gave it up. You can have it. Spec'd it out. Look identical to that. Everything he had on it, I put on it. So it was so crazy to see that's what he got. And then at the very end, the dealer hits me for a $25,000 markup on top of that. And I'm like, F off, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay supercar money. It's not a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. It's awesome in that caliber, but I'm not gonna pay that because they won't hold their value like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Right. Like I want to pay what it's worth, not pay over.
Yeah.
So, and he got it for I think $60,000 less than what I was earmarked to get it for. Just a steal for that car.
He's so happy about it. Like keeps talking about it.
Awesome.
Shares it with everybody. Brings it to the house, and that's the first time I've driven that caliber of a race car. I've been.
Oh, he let you drive it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He let all of us drive it. Right. Man, that's scary fast.
Yeah.
Bro, you hit that. We're on the freeway and you hit it and it pulls and then it pulls harder and then it pulls harder. And I'm like, this is crazy, bro. Yeah. This is a lot of fun. I told him like, there's no way you'll drive the speed limit in this because it's boring.
Yeah.
How could you possibly drive the speed? Anyway, it's pretty awesome.
Didn't they release like 3 versions of it?
Well, the new ones. So part of why he got a good deal finally is, and this is what I was waiting for the same thing for this car, is that once the new ZR1 and the ZR1X or whatever came out, which those are now being built.
Because this is a 670 but naturally aspirated V8.
Yes, it's a naturally aspirated one.
This is what was, they took Ferrari's 458 engine and put it in a Corvette. So it's literally the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah, same
it's mid-engine, right?
It is the exact, that's what, and what an incredible pull for Corvette Chevy to do this is that's what they did. They went out, which by the way is one of the most valuable Ferraris that will hold forever was the last naturally aspirated Ferrari was the 458, and that engine is known as one of the greatest V8s ever built. Chevy goes and takes it. They bought one, completely took it apart, reverse engineered it, and built their version of it. But it's the same thing. I mean, horsepower, the way it puts it down, the way it feels, that's how badass that car is. So it's like you're getting other than the shell, you're getting a Ferrari type of car.
I got to say, I'm so proud of my brother, though. He does such a good job. He's such a good dad, and he's done well, and now he's got one of his dream cars. But I will say this, too. It is funny, because he's a giant dude. He's a big dude. He's like 6'2".
How's he fit it in?
Bro, see him get in, bro? I just laugh so hard. He's a big-ass guy.
Yeah, he's just, how does that go? Like,
bro, it's on the floor. You need some serious mobility.
Super reclined to just like roll in.
Oh, yeah. No, it's hilarious.
So the Porsche has like more room, like more roomy.
Yeah,
for, like,
well,
your driver?
because mine you sat in has the bucket seats, and there's nothing to the bucket seats. So if you get like conventional seats, you lose some of that headroom.
Yeah.
So like for certain cars, Lamborghinis like this, one of the things I don't like a Lamborghini, if you're as tall as I am, you're like this. The cockpit's so tight, your head's like
they
this.
Make it for Italians?
Yeah.
The little ones?
Yeah, but I can't remember. The Corvette has a better room than most of those supercars, but similar type.
So I got to tell you guys about a challenge, not a challenge, something I'm going to try and do, and I'd like your guys' help. If you guys would like to join, which I doubt you would, we can make a bet on it, which I think will be fun. We'll let the audience try to influence everybody. I'm going to try to stop saying curse words.
Wow.
I'm going to try to stop using that kind of language moving forward.
Yeah.
Now I know.
So Justin and I got to kick it up.
I knew as soon as I said that, it's your guys' impulsive.
I live by that. I don't trust anybody who doesn't swear, bro.
Thank you.
I don't trust anybody who doesn't swear.
That's been my MO.
I don't know if there's data to support that.
I don't care about the data.
Anecdotal evidence.
Look at Doug's skeptical face.
Very skeptical. I grew up around a lot of people who didn't swear, and they were some very trustworthy people. So
I don't know. Those are the ones that had the most skeletons.
Yeah, they hit a lot.
I don't know about that.
I think it's more a moral code than that.
There
you
it
know,
is.
I mean, there could be other reasons, but
I think you can make points and connections without it.
Of course
I
you can.
agree.
I think you can filter yourself.
And I want
sure.
to, and it's just look. I was asking myself this, like, do I need to? No, I don't. So let me try. Well, anyway, the challenge I would say to you guys: if you guys want to put a jar on the show while we're recording, and every time you say a bad word, you got to put $100 in there.
I'm not going to play this game, but
Look at
you
that.
can.
All right.
I don't have a desire not to. I like
Yeah,
that
I
part
don't
of me.
either.
You don't want to make that money?
No, I like that part of me.
Do you imagine?
yeah.
Do you think you would
Yeah.
lose that? Is that why?
Same.
No, it's because I like that part of me. Like I keep saying to you, I don't
But
want
to win a jar full of hundreds,
I don't want to give that up. I don't. If it was something that if I did,
what if we put 500 every time?
Wouldn't matter.
Really?
I'm not that motivated by that. No, no.
All right. Sorry,
no.
Doug.
I mean, I'm competitive, all the things, but that's not.
Yeah, if it's overdone, it's lame.
That, I agree with that. I agree that, and I remember when we first started the podcast, I swore way more.
We all did.
And it was,
we all did.
And admittedly, it was nerves, and that's normally swearing is a sign of that. Is less intelligent because you can't find the right
You're not
words.
creative
Nervous, but I don't feel that way anymore. Like I'm so comfortable doing what we do. If I swear, I swear. You know, it's not because I'm nervous or can't find.
So
the
you're
word.
turning the competition down. So
Yeah. No. But I mean, I'll hold you accountable if you want. I'll put a jar out there, and every time I'll make sure you.
Who's going to take the money? I got to give it to you guys.
Well, maybe Doug, because Doug seems to be pro it. You,
Doug
and Doug
never
you
said
might
that
as
word.
well. You took all our money for the driving machine, so I'll be happy to take
Still,
it back.
is it a good investment? You guys still stand by that?
Forever.
I still haven't used it.
All right. All right.
You
But
still-
I'm
you
going to
still
try.
haven't.
I'm going to try to not say bad words.
Were you a lot on here?
What?
On here?
Do I say a
on the
lot?
show,
Yeah.
Not a ton, but I'll throw
some,
them in.
yeah,
I'll throw them in.
Yeah.
much
more-
better now.
He had more vulgar stuff.
Yes, back in the day.
That's what he was more known
Oh,
for,
yeah,
was saying vulgar things.
Yeah.
Less,
Oh,
less.
yeah.
Which that I think that's worse.
Of course.
Yeah. I feel like a good swear word in the right place to add humor. Or,
I like how you do this with your hand, like it's
or
like it's
exclamation.
like it's a
Very
dish.
small and
yes.
Like it's a
just to appeal to your Italian side.
Yes.
I mean, I guess there was. I know that I made a conscious effort when we had Max. Like, so I don't swear around him.
You don't?
No.
He never
heck
hears a bad word?
No way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't swear
Yeah,
in
I'm
front of
very
my
aware
kids.
that when we're at home, I don't swear.
Oh, wow.
So, but when I'm with my buddies, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's part of my storytelling is that.
Yeah.
You take that away from me, I might be a terrible storyteller. You don't want, do you want that? I'm a good storyteller, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know if you're bad. If you're
Am I a good storyteller? You don't think I'm
Yeah,
good?
you are.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but I don't know if the cussing is what makes it a good storytelling.
it adds to it.
Yeah,
That's character.
Well, if it's gonna impede your ability to tell awesome stories, I agree.
Okay.
Keep saying that.
Okay.
I like
good.
challenging the Ned Flanders out there.
Yeah. You know that
where I'm
was.
at.
Can I just tell you that depiction on Ned Flanders? It's such an amazing job.
It's so good
at painting people who are trying to be moral as as terrible people.
morally virtuous people who
As
stick
Ned
their nose
Flanders.
up at everybody else. And that's what I'm not about. So I will take down all the Ned Flanders.
Meanwhile,
saying,
you are a very
"Ooh."
good man.
Yeah, that's all. I want that to speak for itself.
Yeah, you don't
judge
want the
me,
self-righteous.
and that's kind of where
I feel
I'm
like
at.
Justin and I are a lot alike here. There's an area where we're in common because, and I think you do the same thing. Like when I'm around kids, like, I get really annoyed
Oh, I
when
never
people,
swear
when
in
people
front of kids.
swear
Oh, yeah.
around kids and so
Yeah.
that I'm just like, dude, that's not. There's a time and place, and when I'm with my buddies, and we've built this around this being like with my buddies. You're Doug, and you probably would like it that way because it would probably reach a larger audience.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, if you want to
people can
read,
listen
We'd
to
be
it on
very
their way.
Ryan Seacrest, and you'd be happy.
no, we'll never be
it'd
that.
great.
But look, here's
No,
the deal.
It's not for me.
100% what you're saying. If you really want to help people achieve health and fitness, and you want to reach more people, you would stop cussing. Otherwise,
As if trying to sell it.
if the love of helping people outweighs your urge
really
to say bad words,
maximizing your
you
potential
know what
for
I mean?
help.
Because I really want to reach as many people as possible to help them. But that's all right.
I'm gonna meditate on that.
I'd be
tonight.
curious about this
I'll get back to
conversation, say 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, like how
Oh, you think
resistant
we're
we would be.
different? I think
Well,
have
I
the
mean,
same answer.
where you would be, Sal.
Oh, I would be right where they are.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a matter of timing.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Doug,
Because I had this conversation 10 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe.
And
I've
guess
been
what?
saying this.
I was very patient.
I don't know.
And
Justin-
little by little.
Justin and I found Jesus a long time ago. I'm
We
not
did.
sure that's going to make a
That's
difference.
why it's like, it's age,
Doug's
dude.
he's a good splinter for the Ninja Turtles, bro. He's patient.
I'm very patient.
He's right now. He's mad because I'm messing up his thing that he's doing. I just
no,
sent him back
that's
a couple
fine.
years.
It's good to have people on my team.
Doug's like, you just messed it up, Sal. We were going there.
Eventually, they come around, Doug. It's
They
the
do.
thing. You
They
plant
do.
your seeds, and we get there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm rooting for you though. So
All right, I appreciate it.
Okay.
How much on a scale of 0 to F?
Like a 7. Okay. I'm a 7 rooting for
Thanks,
you.
bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I am all for you being,
Love you guys.
Yeah, working on always being a better dude. That's a good thing. I like that.
Just put your money right here when it happens.
Yeah, we'll figure out what we'll do with it.
It's not a big deal.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have a pizza party.
By the way, we need more trainers.
Oh, Doug.
Oh,
We're hiring a lot more trainers. And can we talk about the distance ones? Are we going to talk about that too?
Yes, we can bring that up.
We're going to hire also trainers who want to coach people virtually, so you don't necessarily have to be here.
But, okay, I want to put a big but there.
Massive but.
One,
Calm down.
we want more in-house trainers. That's the number one focus is people that are.
And there's perks to being in-house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it'll definitely be much better to work here than it will be remotely. But
guidance
what
here,
we've recognized is what's happened as we've taken on all these applications is there's been a few trainers that, Kyle and I would be talking, and I'm like, man, he's really good or she is really good. It's such a bummer they can't relocate. I hate to miss on an incredible employee just because of their constraint to move all the way across the country. And so that was kind of where we moved to this. Okay, we're gonna be even more picky for that, just so you know.
Way more.
So being in-house is one thing. To be remote, we have to really, really like that person. And so yes, we're accepting applications, but we're looking for somebody who is very much so bought into the brand, very good at what they do, or going to be very good at what they do in order to get that. So, but yes, remote location and also in person.
And it's mindpumpjobs.com. That's where you can apply.
Correct. And that's for trainers only. It's
Only
not for
trainers.
not for other jobs here.
Okay.
No.
Most multivitamins for kids are really just glorified candy. They're gummy candies, a lot of sugar, not enough nutrients to actually make a difference. Well, there's a company called Hiya. This is the multivitamin that we give our kids. It's not candy in disguise, but it still tastes good. No artificial sweeteners, and it has the right amount of nutrients that will help your child thrive. Check them out. Go to hiyahealth.com. That's HIYA health.com/mindpump. On that link, if it's your first time, you'll get 50% off. Back to the show.
Our first caller is Sophie from Minnesota.
Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Well, to avoid rambling, I'll just read off my question. I'm 28 and I've been lifting weights in some form for the last decade. I have been pretty consistent with strength training though for the last 3 years, about 3 to 4 days per week. And right now I'm really trying to push the limit on my 1 rep max, so for squat, bench, and deadlift. So about 10 weeks ago, I started a 12-week cycle that ends in a 1 rep max test for each, and I want to do everything I can to maximize my results. I have no experience using lifting aids like belts or straps, and I just was wondering what your guys' opinion was on introducing those. So I'm curious if you thought that would be beneficial to introduce as part of my max test, or if there's a certain body weight to barbell weight ratio where it becomes safer to lift with those aids. And then for reference, I'm 130 pounds, 5'8", and my current maxes are 185 on the squat, 200 on the deadlift, and 90 on the bench press. And before you guys ask, yes, I am eating in a surplus and consistently hitting protein.
Awesome.
Target.
Nice.
Thank you, Sophie. All right, so there's a myth that those aids increase the safety of a lift. Here's what happens. If you put on a weight belt, okay, you can lift more weight. So all it does is increase the weight that you can lift. Therefore, the safety is the same. So because of the stability that creates in your core. The only time I recommend those things to people are when they're going to compete in a competition that allows them. Okay, so if you're going to do a powerlifting meet, then I would say use the tools that they allow in the meet, because you also have to learn how to use them properly and effectively, because they do change biomechanics a little bit. Muscle recruitment patterns change. When you wear a belt, for example, your core pushes out against it to create stability. When you don't wear a belt, it's different. So that would be it. Now, if you're not going to compete in a sport that allows them, there's really no use in using them. And yes, you will lift more weight with them, but those things are why you're lifting a little bit more weight. So it's not really
Especially somebody who hasn't already. The fact that you haven't, you're strong. You're already strong, and you're not going to get any benefit other than saying that, oh, you lifted 10% more with the belt. If you were winning a trophy for it, that'd be a different story. But if you were my client, I would encourage you not to start using it. I mean, I look back at my journey and regret that it was something that I included, because you get dependent on it. You get really strong. I know what I can lift with a belt, and so I can't lift that without a belt. And so there's this part that psychologically I'm messing with, and yet I don't compete. So it's just like, why did I ever do that? So a lot of what you hear us communicating is because I think we feel like if we could go back and do it again, we would have done it different. Like if the day I was in your shoes, because there was a time when I was in your shoes and I hadn't done it yet, I wish I wouldn't have done it, because it didn't serve me at all, right? Other than saying that I lifted this number. I think you are also, even if you lift less weight, I think you're stronger, because you're doing that intrinsically yourself. You're not using an artificial tool in order to do that. And that mimics more realistically how you would lift something in real life too.
Yeah.
So.
Are you going to compete?
Yeah. Or is this just
No,
hobby?
I have no plans. I think my progress on my maxes have been kind of slow. Like over the last 3 years, I've maybe increased them like 10 pounds on each.
Okay.
And I just wanted to see if there was something that could help me get that extra kind of push.
Have you used any kind of variable resistance, added bands or chains to your lifts, or any kind of like fractional weights?
I haven't, not since college. I was a college tennis player, and we used to do a lot of strength and conditioning, playing with like speed squats, resistance band squats, that kind of a thing. But since then, it's been pretty just traditional. I've done some tempo work, like pause squats or like a slow decline.
Yeah, that's all
the
great.
direction I would go. Yeah.
I agree. I think using like chains or bands in addition to the weight that you're using, really effective for breaking through plateaus. And then programming is where I'd always look, right? Are you following MAPS Powerlift, or are you following like what kind of program are you following?
I've been following Stronger by the Day by Meg Squats. I'm not sure if you guys heard of her.
Yeah. How long have you been following it?
That's what I've been using the last 3 years. So she's pretty powerlifting focused. And then this cycle right now is just focused on one max testing for this 12 weeks.
Okay. Let's send you MAPS Powerlift. When you're done with that, then follow.
Try our version of it. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Usually for powerlifting, I mean, there could be a lot of reasons why someone plateaus, but programming sometimes is one of the reasons. So we'll send you MAPS Powerlift, and when you're done, you can try our programming and see if it makes a difference.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
How, just out of curiosity, like how much weight is normal to be gaining on your maxes, like over time for an experienced weightlifter? Like, should you be progressing, 10 pounds in a year, or is there a normal?
That's impossible to answer.
Right.
Yeah. Like there's so many factors that can influence that.
Sure.
But I think if you're following good, at this point, you've been lifting for a long time. If you were to add, in a 3-month period, 10 pounds to your lift, that you're doing great.
10's a good amount. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
All right.
You got it.
Yeah.
We'll send you MAPS Powerlift. That way you got some different programming next time, okay?
Okay, great. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sophie.
Right on.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to just kind of address what you touched on, Adam, that if you use lifting aids like belts, wrist wraps, knee sleeves, that kind of stuff, knee wraps especially, if you use them often, what'll happen is you'll start to train your body to fire its muscles and operate well, or should I say it's most familiar against resistance with those aids. So what happens is you change your recruitment patterns, you take them off. In the real world, you go to lift something heavy, your body goes and it reverts to this pattern that you train all the time, but now you don't have the belt on. Now you don't have the wraps on. Now you don't have the knee wraps on, and then you can cause problems. So it can actually cause issues.
Racing's completely different with a belt.
Very different.
So it's a completely different process. So it's almost like it competes with what you're doing without it. So therefore, it's like a completely different response that you're training, which isn't going to be beneficial for you to jump from one to the other.
No, in fact, I would say it's detrimental for many people. It's a very tough habit to break. It's real hard to tell yourself, I'm going to go down 50 pounds in this lift because I'm not using a belt anymore.
Our next caller is Jordan from Florida.
Jordan, what's happening?
How you doing, Jordan?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man.
Good, man. What's happening?
Not much, man. I'm very happy to be on here. I've been a long time listener of you guys. It's very exciting. And, so just to jump into my question real quick, because I know I got a short time and it kind of has a little bit of backstory. But essentially my question is, what qualifies a coach or trainer, and specifically on degrees versus certifications? So a little bit about my backstory is, I didn't finish college. I was kind of an idiot growing up, but even after, I just didn't like learning like that. And so when I moved to Florida, my goal was to become an athlete performance coach. That was the only thing I was interested in. And so when I got here, I started looking into a lot of online certifications, got certified as a trainer, got a NASM certification. And then honestly following you guys and Joe DeFranco's podcast, like I got like stacks and stacks of books from you guys, and you guys pushed me into the NCI. So I took a couple courses from them. And, did some internships, interned at Elliot Holtz's gym here in Florida. And now I work at Overtime Athletes and train athletes full time. So, getting into that, that's kind of just like my background. And, I feel very fortunate. I've been coaching here full time 5 years. And now we work with other coaches, and I help other coaches learn about athlete performance programming. So what spurred my question is, about a month or so ago, I saw an Instagram reel, and there was a coach who he had his PhD, multiple masters, but basically he was just saying is, all coaches need to have a degree, period. And, if they don't, they're completely unqualified and all that. And all that, I just left a comment on there and was just like, hey, well, here's my experience. And, we at our gym, we have interns. I've been here long enough with OTA that, I've had multiple coaches come through that had masters, had bachelors, and they didn't end up being good coaches. And that's all I was saying. Well, this guy just like proceeded to attack me in the comments and even start DMing me, attacking me, calling me unqualified, telling me I'm uneducated and all this stuff. So that I was actually kind of hilarious, but that's kind of what spurred my question. And I just want to kind of share that. That's the background of it. So I wanted to reach out to you guys and just kind of ask you, what qualifies a coach, like, degrees versus certifications. And again, like I said, I've gotten a lot of information just from your podcast, from DeFranco's podcast and certification. And so, yeah, that was basically what my question was.
I would judge a coach's qualifications, if I had to pick one thing, by their experience and who mentored them, way over anything else. Yeah. If you told me right now, I got no certifications, I got no formal education, but I worked under Joe DeFranco for 5 years, I'd be like, you're awesome. Mm-hmm. I'd hire you over the guy with a PhD in exercise science.
For sure.
So experience crushes all of it. Yeah. Now, education's important as well.
In this industry.
Formal education for coaching and fitness training,
meh.
The ROI in it sucks.
Yeah.
You go get a 4-year degree and you're gonna take away from that what you would get in a certification oftentimes. And experience crushes all of it. So the person you were talking to sounds like someone who's a little jealous of what you're doing.
Insecure, dude. That's
insecure.
That's an insecure dude right
And they're
there.
trying to disqualify competitors because they're probably struggling getting clients because other trainers are outperforming them. Yeah. And they're like, but they're not
a weak thing to do.
Yeah, but they don't have formal education. That's no.
You put you compare a degree, a basic, say, sports medicine degree to like going through Jordan Shallow certification. You're going to get way more for training athletes than you would in that degree. In 4 years of school, compared to the guy who goes through the certification with Jordan, you would get way more. You would get way more by just watching, listening, and learning from a Ben Bruno, from a Joe DeFranco, from Max Schmarzo, from Corey Schlesinger.
That's way worth so much more.
If hopefully you're following all those guys because
I do. I know all those guys.
Yeah, I mean they're the best in the business. There's a reason why they've been on this podcast. We've known a lot of PhDs, and it's not to say that all PhDs are shit, but those guys impress me way more. And some of them have their degrees and some of them don't. Yeah. But to be honest with you, I don't even know off the top of my head which ones do and don't, because that's the last thing I'm paying attention to is their formal education. It's their experience, and then also their results. I mean, look at like Ben Bruno, who, you know, a lot of people talk shit about, but look at the athletes that he's trained and the results that he's gotten these athletes, and these athletes that continue to train with them. There's a reason why that is he's created a brand for himself without any of those other things, you know?
I don't really
and you know, I mean, I was insecure about that starting out for a while, you know, as I was trying to gain experience. But, you know, one of the internships I did, I interned under a guy who had his master's degree. And I think this is what kind of broke that for me was, I interned under him, and not to like toot my own horn, I was just so unimpressed with him as a coach. That kind of, you know, broke that for me. And then it wasn't until I interned at strength camp under Chris Barnard. That's Elliot Holtz's former partner, and he's the owner of Overtime Athletes, who I work for now and have been here for 5 years. And now, you know, 5 years later, you know, we have our own coaches certification. We work with a lot of athlete performance coaches around the world. And I have dozens of online athletes I work with, and guys from Georgia, Bama, Michigan State. And I just found it funny, like, talking to that guy. It's not like that guy hurt my feelings, but I just, you know, after that whole episode, I was just like, I could train like this for like 30 years, but according to that guy, I would still be unqualified, I guess.
There's no direct path from college to training. I mean, I can't even point you to a curriculum that is that dialed in comparison to, you know, a certification that's more robust, like your Jordan Shallows or something that's actually like very heavy with anatomy and physiology and function. And really, that's all you're going to get anyways from the college experience is maybe a little bit more, you know, anatomical information and you know, biomechanics. But even then, that's a lot of memorization, that's a lot of understanding of, you know, the human body. But the actual application is everything, and the actual working with personalities and you know, human psychology, it way surpasses that kind of information. So I've had both, and I lean so much more on application and mentorships. I just think it's way more valuable for this industry,
especially with pro athletes and athletes in general. I mean, they just they break the mold. So, you know, training general pop, I have like certain things that I can say that I found in common with training, but then train an athlete and it's totally different. Like the rules get thrown out the window because it's different for them. They're a different breed, and they have different goals. And when you're training for high performance like that, you have different things that you're taking into consideration than the average Jane or Joe that wants to come in and lose 15 pounds. So, yeah, no, it's you're on the right track. It sounds like you're following the right people. You've been mentored by great people. Keep getting what I tell you and encourage you to do, because what can happen, okay, so let's talk about the thing that can happen to somebody like in your situation, is you can get in your own little bubble of this is like how Elliot's team and they do everything, and then it becomes dogmatic even for you. Like, be open-minded to learn from all those guys that we talked about, because there's something to take from all of them. And I don't believe one of them has it all figured out. I think they all bring something to the table, and you being the person who's open-minded enough to learn from all of those guys, boy, you're going to be better than anybody that you currently work with right now. If all those guys that you currently work with only follow under OTA and their philosophy, it's like, yeah, you want to know that philosophy, but then you also want to know the Jordan Shallows, the Ben Brunos, the Max Marzos, and learn from, you know, PGA Performance. Like, those guys are the best in the business. And if you haven't already, I'd lean into getting some courses from some of them, because they all got great courses too.
I'm actually looking at Jordan Shallow's Prescript. Right? Yeah. No, I've been looking at that one. I've talked to a couple of their guys, and that's definitely the next one on my list. I'm still trying to figure, because you guys pushed me a lot into NCI. We actually worked with Jason Phillips when we were building our online program, and I'm still trying to finish a lot of those programs I got, but you guys pushed me a lot into that.
Yeah, they did really good with nutrition coaching. That's what really attracted us to Jason and his team, is that and the business side. Yeah, they're really good at nutrition, really good on the business side, I feel like, as far as scaling and making money, that kind of deal. But as far as like education for athletes, I mean, I don't know if you train more basketball, football, what, but
Corey Schlesinger.
yeah, I think
mostly football, baseball, basketball. But again, I work with athletes all around the world, and I got like kids in Ireland that play Gaelic football, and so some sports I haven't even heard of before.
Yeah, Paul Fabritz has got incredible stuff too. So if you haven't gone
Ryan
through
Kula for speed, doesn't really. I can't think of anybody better. So
yeah, dude, you get tutelage or mentoring or courses from all those guys. You're gonna blow away 99.9% of every PhD out there in sports performance, dude. You will. Just
clinical
is clinical.
It's different.
Keep doing that, dude. Allow that, because I know what it's like. I had the same insecurity when I was a trainer because I was the least educated, least experienced. Was a great motivator for me to get great, So allow that to drive you to be great, and to learn more.
No, believe me, I'm constantly reading books and stuff, and I'm trying to look up every sports performance coach in the business, even if I'm not doing a certification. So I know all those guys, and no, I really appreciate it, and appreciate you guys. Again, my wife did a couple of your programs after we had our kids, and your Maps Prime Pro was a huge one I really loved as well.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
But last thing before we finish off, first Sal, I just want to say praise God. I've followed you for a while, and I've really loved everything you've been sharing the last couple of years, man.
Appreciate that.
And Adam, for you, last little thing, I just want to say peanut butter goes on the bread first.
Yeah, there you go.
Big contention there.
Only men do that.
Oh, man.
Only men.
Oh, man. Hopefully your wife is the one doing all the cooking and stuff for the house then. So
I bet
she is. But she agrees with me.
Oh God.
Good woman.
That's
Good
a lot
woman.
of dishes over at that house.
Right, dude.
Yeah, you're right. But hey, really, really glad. It was really excited to jump on, and great to talk to you guys, and really appreciate it.
Hey,
Thanks, man.
keep it up, bro.
Take it easy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The irony is we often get messages from professors who use our content now to teach.
I love that.
That's my favorite thing. I know.
Talk about full circle for us, huh?
Well, definitely for you and I. Adam. We have zero.
I can identify with that. I mean, that was a big insecurity for me.
Yeah,
I've talked probably a lot about my money insecurities. I also had the education insecurity. Those were two big ones for me for a big portion of my career.
Yeah, I think too, for me going through that experience, like I would get so frustrated because it was just, they were just lecturing, and so much of it was fluff and fat that I would just cut out. And I'm like, just teach me what's actually going to work and is usable. And it was never the case. And so I was just sitting there held hostage, it felt like, and I just didn't enjoy it. So, I think it applies into like a really clinical setting. And like if you're working in with like physicians and like it's in that kind of facility setting, there's really good programs in that regard. But for general population and for sports performance, you're not going to get better than mentorships.
Our next caller is Corey from Kansas.
What's up, Corey?
What are you doing, Corey?
Hey guys, I'm well. How are you all?
Good.
How can we help you?
Good. Hey, so there's been a few episodes lately. You guys have talked about the importance of keeping track of weekly load. So my question comes in with that in relation to progressive overloading. So in optimizing strength or hypertrophy for a given lift, does progressive overload take precedence over total weekly training volume? For example, in the context of MAPS phase 2 or MAPS anabolic phase 2 and 3, where the rep ranges are higher, I often hit the top end of the rep range and then increase load, which is typically 5 pounds per dumbbell. However, upon increasing the weight, I usually fall short of the previous week's rep count, resulting in a net decrease for weekly volume. While I'm achieving progressive overload through increased weight, overall volume drops. So from a programming standpoint, is it more beneficial to prioritize load progression or to maintain increased weekly volume for continued adaptation?
Here's the problem with tracking total volume. It's not perfect. So if I squat 50 pounds for 200 reps, I've done more volume than if I did 3 reps with 500 pounds. Okay. Sure. So obviously we know which one's going to build more muscle. So I think you're overthinking a little bit.
If you're progressive overloading, and you are, so you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I would base it off of feel. Is it more important for me? Do I feel better going a little higher in the reps with better form? Or do I feel a little better going a little lower in the reps and going heavier? This is where it's not perfect. So this is where you kind of have to decide for yourself. We don't want to live and die by progressive overload because it's not perfect. It doesn't work perfect. And you can't always progressively overload your volume.
I wish that linear progression would be amazing.
Yeah, if that were the case, I'd be doing 1,000 sets per body part by now. I've been working out for so long.
That's why I kind of toggle between the two.
You also have to factor in, even though we're thinking like in a week snapshot of total volume, you also have to think of where you're at daily. Like, so let's say today you're supposed to progressively overload, but that was a rough night of sleep last night of all the days that week. Like, so you're like, and the smart thing to do is to not overload the body on that day and probably step back, and you'll actually take steps forward versus, today's the day I got to add volume or I got to progressively overload, therefore I push anyways. Yeah. And then you actually go 5 steps backwards. So it's like, there's also that factor that you have to consider in a moment like that, right? Not just the total volume of the week. It's also, how do I feel today? The generic way I did it just worked really well for me when I was competing was I was just tracking total volume of the week. And my goal actually was not always necessarily to increase. It was sometimes just to maintain. It's just like, I just don't want to go backwards. Because what I found was when I tracked it without like trying to progressively or just watching my own behaviors, I did a lot of this so much where it was like, I wasn't even, a lot of times I was going backwards in a week and I didn't realize. And so I just would set a goal like, hey, the end of this week, I want to make sure I just accomplish the same amount of volume. And sometimes I might add a set, but I try and do it on the days that I feel best to do that. And then overall, look at the week and go like, hey, I accomplished the same amount of volume or more than the previous week, I'm winning. And so I just didn't want to go backwards, but I would use the day that I was feeling best in that week to potentially increase that volume. And
also keep in mind, this is Adam competing, peak shape. He lives.
It's the only time I did this.
Didn't have a job except for lifting weights.
Focused on the results.
And it doesn't work forever. And sometimes oftentimes reducing volume and load results in better results. Oftentimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a lot. What kind of inspired this question, Adam, is you've kind of recapped over the last few months or referenced back to your series that you recently did. And one of those moments was talking about just keeping an eye on weekly volume. And I've had that exact same scenario where I look at it and be like, man, that was a great workout. And if I look at it from the totality of a week, it's like, I fell short a little bit there. So
you don't want to live and die by it. It's just one of many factors that you can pay attention to.
I think there's just a lot of benefit in paying attention, like you're doing right now. I think there's a lot of value in just kind of tracking, and then things tend to make sense. It's like, well, that's probably why I really didn't progress this month, is I had 2 weeks where I actually went backwards in volume. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think the awareness around it is probably the most valuable thing versus like, how important is it? Unless it was a full-time job for you, like it was for me during that time. Like it was that serious that I had to get on stage and be better than I was last time. Therefore, I've got to do this thing. And so that's the only time in my life that I really, truly tracked volume like that, because it was, at that time, my job.
Absolutely.
This process is both a science and an art. So you want objective measures. You also want to base it off your feelings, and you want to use both. Neither one is perfect. So if you felt like you had a great workout, you probably did. You probably did. But sometimes feelings are wrong too. Like, oh my God, I'm going backwards. Then you look at your workouts over the last month and you're like, actually, I'm progressing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you want to use both, but don't live and die by either one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I do like the idea that you're peering into it though, because I think it can be very, it was enlightening for me. I had never really tracked like that, and then it was like it was enlightening at the least. And I think just kind of like tracking food, someone who's never tracked food, and it's just like, just track it and see what happens. I'm not saying you got to measure, weigh everything for the rest of your life. It's just like, it's very enlightening because we assume or think a lot of times and we're off and we're wrong. And so I think that part of you just doing that, I think, is valuable.
Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, man.
Good. Cool question.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Hey, I think you guys get shout outs all the time for the great work you do. Obviously, I want to acknowledge that, but also comment on how I think the three of you together and Doug too, you each bring a separate dynamic to the group, and it makes this show just knocks it out of the park. I can relate to each one of you throughout the course of a show, probably 5 times over. So I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you, Corey, for sharing that. We were just thinking about firing Justin, so that I'm glad.
Keep Justin
on the chopping block, dude.
Yeah, Justin, we need your little dag jokes that you kind of throw in there. Everybody, I like those digs.
I'll work on it, dude.
You don't have to do natural.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
You got it. Yeah, Justin makes us likable. That's for sure. If it wasn't for Justin, we'd be annoying all the time. You know, I'm glad he asked that question.
That's a good question. It's a good question.
Yeah, because you can get so caught up in tracking that like that becomes everything, and then you start to
it's helpful at first, like you said. Insight is valuable,
but it's not it really is. Listen, if I did the volume for squatting 50 pounds 200 times, do that 50 times 200. That's a ton of volume versus 500 pounds for 3 reps. Now I know which one is going to make me stronger, build more muscle, and it ain't the 50 pounds for 200 reps.
Yep.
So it's not a perfect formula, but it is one of many metrics that you can kind of pay attention to and watch how it trends over time.
I love it as a just peering in, not as a, to your point, just the science of like, oh, whoops, I have to. It's like, no, it's like just good to know. If you've never done it, I mean, I think it's very similar to someone who's never tracked calories. If you've never tracked before, I think it's a good exercise. I don't encourage you to do tracking calories for the rest of your life. I don't think that's a way to live. But I do think everybody at some point, barring you don't have some sort of eating disorder, it is very good for you to track and just see and get an idea. And I think that part of the exercise is the most valuable. To live and die by it as this is what I have to do today because I'm at this much volume, I don't think is a good strategy for 99% of the people out there. But I think peering into that, I mean, it was very valuable to me. I had been lifting a very long time and feel pretty confident in my programming when I do it. And then when I peered in on the volume, I realized like, oh, wow, I have these patterns of how I train, and I could see how that
fall into those patterns. How do I interrupt this?
Yeah, exactly. And I could see how this could lead to a plateau for me. So that became this kind of little mini goal I gave myself. Okay, just don't go backwards at them on volume, because that would already be different than my previous patterns. And that was enough for me to be able to bring a more muscular, better physique to every time I got on stage.
Our next caller is Adam from Minnesota.
What's up, Adam?
What's going on, Adam?
Dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How can we help you?
So I'll just read off my question off of this email here. So I train at my college at the wellness center on campus, and I started working with a client who's got some, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it's some sort of disability. It's really hard to communicate with him, and he's super unstable, has a lot of imbalances. And so I've tried to use some of the things from MAPS Prime and Prime Pro, but a lot of them are really difficult, and cueing him to getting, moving how I want him to is hard. So, and some things that we have been able to do are like farmer's carries, overhead carries, just simple stuff like that. So what would you guys recommend, as far as programming to get him to be able to progress to do like squat, bench, deadlift, the big exercises like that, and then also be able to move him into being able to focus more on losing the weight that he needs to.
He may not be ready for that. We're unaware of his disability. Do you know what it is by any guess or anything?
I don't know for sure. It's
hypermobile at all?
It's some form of autism, I think, because communication's hard. I'll have to tell him, repeatedly, 4, 5, 6 times to do something, and then he still might not, do it. And I have to break stuff down super specifically for him to do it.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Based on what you're saying, consider this.
This is a hard client.
Yeah. Based on what you're saying right now, the most important thing to consider is that he has a good relationship with exercise. That's number one. So if he shows up and it looks like he wants to be there, big win. Now, this is going to sound oversimplified, but it's actually quite true. So long as you don't hurt him, you're doing great. Okay.
Okay.
So anything you do with him, a lunge, elevated push-up, He could lift
even machines.
He could lift an empty bar off of a rack, so it's only thigh high. Having him sit down on a bench and stand up as a squat, all fine, all totally fine. So you really can't go wrong except for hurting him and progressing him too quickly.
Yeah.
The struggle is, it sounds like the struggle for you is you're questioning the whole thing. But I think you're doing, how often have you been seeing him, or how long?
Well, so we started in January, middle of January, and then we went through, it would have been the middle of June, or the beginning of June, and then we both moved back home. It was only both of our freshman year of college, so we both moved back home. I'm going to start it up again with him in about 2 or 3 weeks. I'm moving back.
Has he been consistent that whole time?
Yeah.
How often was he seeing you?
We're doing twice a week.
And he shows up to every session?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you're crushing it, bro.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
So you think he's got a form of autism because he's having a tough time communicating, understanding, making eye contact, the whole deal?
Yeah.
So he's probably incredibly uncomfortable, and yet he's showing up to see you. So that means he likes it and he values it. Huge win, Adam.
Yeah.
Great job.
I think the struggle is, our innate kind of nature of wanting to progress our clients and move them along to these like desired goals that you might have for them, like even to backload squat or to do these things. But really like meeting them where they're at and just staying there, finding out what works, whether it's supported, like you get into the squat rack, you have them hold on to things the whole time you're lifting. There's nothing wrong with that. And to progress just little bits of whether it's just with weight, control, balance, and that's really where you need to just focus on his comfort and ability to control himself and feel like encouraged that he's making progress.
This is a really good question for us to answer, because I know that most people that listen to the podcast hear us talk about how good squatting is and deadlifting and overhead pressing, and the goal is to always try and work towards that. But I think it's good for you to hear that there's a lot of my clients, we never got there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think I'm pretty good at what I do. There's just some people that's so far from them that getting them to just do farmer carries, and a great huge win is going from farmer carries holding dumbbells in both hands to all of a sudden being able to do it in one hand and keep their body stable. Like for somebody like that could be a massive win. Or can we walk across the room doing walking lunges without tipping over? It could be like a massive win for somebody like that. And so yeah, you could potentially spend the rest of your college career training this person and they never get to squatting. That doesn't mean you failed as a trainer at all. Like it sounds like that he's got a lot of challenges with stability, focus, all the above. And to Sal's point, the best thing that you could possibly do is to get him to enjoy what you guys are doing. And if he's enjoying it and you're helping him make it a part of his lifestyle, that's a big win.
That's 95% of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll give you some tips. I've trained people like this.
Is there a sled?
I've had clients that their workouts didn't change for a long time, but it was such a win that they showed up. And I've got a few clients I can think of like this, where they just showed up and they were just there, and I could see, they were showing up. They're consistent and they started to enjoy it. And it took us years before they really were able to try to progress certain things. I'll give you some tips. Are there things that you bring up that he then starts getting real verbal with and starts talking about? Are there subjects he starts just piping up and wants to talk to you about?
Yeah, sometimes like talking to him about his classes. He does animal science.
Good. Ask him.
Talking about stuff like that. Yeah.
Ask him about that.
Oh, dude, if he likes animal science, like, have you looked into like some animal flow type of movements, like where he's like crawling and doing stuff like animals? If he's really like, so that's where Sal's going. This is how I would try and go. It's
that's
like,
right.
Find something he's excited about and is interested in. If he loves animals, he's into talking about it. It's like, dude, let's do some animal flow.
Yeah, this is called a bear crawl.
Yeah,
this is based off of a gorilla's movements. But also while in between the exercises, ask him about things that light him up, and it just gets him more excited to show up and talk with you. And then the side effect of that is exercising and he's showing up. But the fact that, just based off of how you described him, the fact that he was 2 days a week consistent for 6 months,
you won. He's getting value out of it.
Huge win. It's don't hurt him and see if you can get him to move in ways that are beneficial. And that's it. Don't overthink it.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything else. Again, just like everybody else says, thank you guys. Really enjoy the podcast. I took your course for my CEUs. That was really valuable.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks,
Yeah.
brother. How'd you enjoy it?
Yeah.
So you're in our forum too, then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, keep us posted as you're going through stuff like that. There's a lot of other great trainers in there too that have probably had similar challenges, and so you might get some ideas. So use that forum, dude. Use that forum to prod everybody else and see what they might have done. But I love the idea of like finding an animal flow that he likes. That could be fun for him, and you might connect there. And like Sal said, man, you're getting him to show up consistently and move his body in beneficial ways. He may never squat and deadlift. That's okay. That's okay. That doesn't mean you failed as a trainer. Keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing a good job.
Got it. Cool.
Right on, Adam.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You got it. I had a client once.
Good question for us to talk about.
Super good.
Yeah.
I had a client once, and new trainers, this is hard to understand because you're just like, he's got to get better. Well, he's not getting stronger. We're not progressing. I'm failing.
Well, and you hear us communicate a lot.
Right.
We do push people to like, hey, the goal should be get him to squat.
Of course. But you give me a different person like this, and it's going to be a different conversation.
Yeah.
I had a client once that showed up, had a severe, to use this doesn't 100% describe it, but he had like a bit of a psychotic break and severe depression. And literally, when he showed up, we would find a time when no one else was there, and I had to turn the lights off, play no music. And it was like a 8-month period where we would go in the corner of the gym and we would do like 2 exercises. And that was all he could handle at the time. And that was it. But he was showing up. Yeah. And it was a huge win. And then over the course of the following few years, he started to slowly progress and come out of it. But within that, initial 8-month or however long it was, I think it was about 8-month period of time, like he would literally, it was quiet on the floor, like 2 exercises for the whole hour.
I mean, I had clients like this, right? I didn't have a lot, but I had a few clients like this. And sometimes it looks like there's one exercise they like doing. And I just found ways to challenge that exercise. Yeah. And so like, if like, let's say the farmer carries that, there's a lot of different variations of farmer carries that he can do that if he likes doing it, you can progress it slowly and show him wins and get him excited about it. And that might not be all you do. Yep. Yeah. It might be just all these cool.
Yeah, I did that with step-ups. I had a lady with MS, and it was like just her. I had to hold her, and she had to hold on to me, and that's how we started. And then after that, it was hold on to the squat rack, and then it was I'm not holding on to it, and and now it's like we increased the height, and it was like huge. That was like a year-long process to get there, and it's like, dude, it was massive. Progress.
I had one kid like this who just had difficulty connecting, speaking. But when I asked him about Minecraft, he would go off. Every session, I would ask him about Minecraft.
Oh, I mean,
every session,
I'm so
that's
glad.
what we were
I'm so glad I'm so glad you asked that
connection.
Because I mean, to me, right away, if he's fascinated with animals,
everything about that.
Animal flow would be such a fun, cool thing for him to learn and teach. And it may only be 1 or 2 different animal flows, and that's all we practice and we get good at, and we have fun with it. Like,
that's right.
Yeah. So don't overthink it. You're doing a good job, Adam. Not everybody's going to be able to barbell, back squat, and deadlift. It doesn't mean you're a failure as a trainer.
Totally. All right. I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. Stop doing 3 sets of 12 to build muscle and do this instead. You guys want to guess?
Stop doing the 3 sets of 12 and do this instead. With that intro, my guess is you're going to tell people to change the rep range
5 by
5. 5 by 5 or low rep range.
Do you guys remember when
you're going?
Yeah. So oftentimes we get stuck in like a set count and a rep count or a range that's